It's been known for a while that Planet Fitness allows trans people to use the correct bathrooms. I think that like the amnesia has set in. Is it the dementia from these people being so old? Or is it the dementia from their repeated COVID infections? We will never know. But we know that Planet Fitness is pro-trans. Their slogan is like no judgment or judgment-free zone or something like that. They're acting like this is brand new information though. And there's a whole issue about a particular trans person, I guess, in a bathroom. There's not a lot of mainstream news coverage of this yet. Like, this frankly is just kind of popping off on Twitter at the moment. Because like hashtag boycott Planet Fitness, the Republicans are using, and then, you know, people making fun of the Republicans are also using it. And that's why it's trending. Libs of TikTok picked up on it, as she always does. Because this hasn't gone mainstream yet, I don't really know how well any of this information has been corroborated. Like, I don't know any details about the actual person, this trans person allegedly in the bathroom. I don't think that the actual incident was recorded. There was a photo taken of the person in the bathroom, but I don't personally know that there's a video. I know that the cis woman who took the picture recorded a video afterwards describing the situation. But of course, you know, we can't know exactly what was said. And there have been some situations recently where I do personally believe that a person has been lying about being trans in order to make a big point. Do y'all remember that teacher who was wearing, like, they were a shop teacher, like a wood shop teacher, wearing these giant dodonga honkaroos or whatever, and like they were enormous, and a very bad wig and very bad makeup, and, you know, like, oh, is this appropriate to be around kids, blah blah blah. My personal opinion, especially because we did see pictures of that person outside of work where they weren't dressing like that, I think that that was like a psyop, essentially. I think that that was a cisgender person disingenuously identifying as trans for the purpose of making trans people look ridiculous. And so, honestly, I'm not gonna say that this doesn't seem like that. Like, this does sort of seem like a situation where it's possible that it was set up to look this way, but I'm gonna try to be open-minded. So, if you're enjoying this video, hit the like button, maybe subscribe, hit all notifications if you want. Feel free to check out the links in the description. You might find some merch you like, or you can hit up the Patreon to support the content and find free stuff. The Hindustan Times is the source that I have that managed to put all of this in like one area instead of having to pick through it all on Twitter. Let me zoom in. This woman took a photograph of someone in the bathroom. This is the person that she took a picture of in the bathroom, who appears to be rinsing out a razor as they've just shaved their face, apparently, is the narrative. And this is happening in the women's bathroom at the Planet Fitness. So this woman decided, oh, is there a picture of her on here? Okay, well, there's a video still of her, so you can just see her right there. She took a picture of this person in the bathroom and was like, why are you in here? Let's see. And because of Planet Fitness's policy, they did cancel that woman's membership because it's supposed to be a judgment-free zone. You just took a picture of someone in a private space, which is not illegal in the US, I don't think. Well, I'm sure it would depend on your municipality, but it is generally considered uncool, at least, to take pictures of people in bathrooms, even if you think that they shouldn't be there. Oh yeah, Steven Crowder also did a similar thing at a Planet Fitness, dressing all, like, in the worst wig possible with terrible makeup. Cis women also shave their faces. That's fair enough. That's a true statement. This person does not look like a cis female to me, but, you know, not going to take judgment. Wild Bunny says, from what I understand, you cannot take photos in a bathroom, at least where my partner works. That's a huge no-no, and he will call the cops on you. Yeah. I'm sure it depends, because the United States is what it is. I'm sure it depends on where you live, big time. Oh, so this happened in Alaska. Patricia Sylvia is her name. This Alaskan woman revealed that she saw, quote, a man with a penis in the female locker room on Monday. Like, okay, this person is fully clothed. How do you know what is going on in the pee-pee area? Okay, recalling the incident, Sylvia said, I just came out of Planet Fitness and there is a man shaving in the women's bathroom. She explained that she personally has no problems with the individuals who identify as queer LGB, according to Fox News. She continues, I realize he wants to be a woman. He gets to be a woman. I love him in Christ. He's a spiritual being having a human experience. He doesn't like his gender, so he wants to be a woman, but I'm not comfortable with him shaving in my bathroom. That is a weirdly empathetic way to put that. Like this person is just having a human experience, but I don't want them around me. It's such a weird place that I've never seen that before. I don't think that I've seen someone be compassionate toward trans people. The misgendering obviously is not very compassionate. Maybe she wouldn't, she's the type of person who maybe would reflexively start using female pronouns if you looked more female to her. I don't know. But like that, yeah, it's just a weirdly compassionate way to say this and then also get out of the bathroom. But, shit, maybe she's the type of woman who would be cool with a trans woman using the bathroom if she was passing enough. And I don't know. It's just such a strange way to say that. It's like the preamble people give when they try to demonstrate how they are not racist. I guess maybe I would have to watch the video and see how she says it, but like the words on their own actually do kind of sound like she genuinely means it on some level. Okay, let's go ahead and watch this little video and see what she actually says so that I don't have to keep quoting. Listen, I am entertaining the idea that it's fake. I'm open to the idea that this is fake. Okay, let's try this.
Good morning at 8 degrees below zero in Fairbanks, Alaska. Day 2 of Planet Fitness Saga. I came in Monday. There's a man in the women's locker room shaving. A little girl sitting in the corner. She could have been 12 years old. I don't know how old she was. In a towel. Kind of freaked out that there's a man shaving in her locker room. Well, I was offended. I took a...
Where is this child's parent? Like, why the scaremongering about like the presence of children around a person in a public space? The appeal to kids every time. And that makes it seem like, yeah, she, with the tone, now having heard her talk, I do think I agree with you more that it's like, that's the lead up that a racist might use to say like, oh, I love black people or whatever. Like, oh, I love this person in Christ. I just don't want them anywhere near me. Like, yeah. And then with this, yeah, who is this 12-year-old child? Is that her? Like, where is the mom? Or like, is that person who was shaving, is that their kid? We don't know. Yeah, that little girl perished at the very sight. And like, maybe you're projecting onto the kid. How do you know that the kid looked uncomfortable? Why is the kid sitting there in a towel when like there are places to change in private in locker rooms? There are. I've been in them before. They have bathroom stalls and showers with curtains that you can draw. It's so strange. Like, I don't know if this child is real. Why is there an unattended 12-year-old in a locker room at a Planet Fitness? That's one of the main problems I have with this narrative. The child is scheduling top surgery this week already. Yeah, it's a contagion, right? Et cetera, et cetera.
Picture of him, and I asked him, why are you there? You're a man with a penis. Why are you in the women's locker room? How do you know? And he justified by saying, I'm queer LGB, and I said...
I don't think he said that. Who in the world says I'm queer LGB? I don't think. And also, like, people generally don't use that as an excuse. They would be like, I am trans. Why would queer LGB people try to use the opposite sex bathroom? Okay, whatever.
You shouldn't be in the women's locker room. Well, I left. And as I said this morning, I got canceled. Planet Fitness is defending the man in the women's locker room, the man with the penis.
Again,
rather than the child sitting in the corner with a towel wrapped around her.
That's so creepy.
So people, I just want you to know, this is weird. It's not good.
These people do not understand that this is like sexual harassment. If you walk up to me and you say anything about my genitalia to me as a stranger in a public bathroom or in like literally any circumstance on Twitter, when y'all are like, oh, what genitals do you have? Like, you have to prove, oh, are you really a man? Well, show me. I literally saw a tweet from today that was someone accusing a trans man of being a woman and then was like, well, why don't we pull out your meat and 2 veg then and we'll see. Like, that's sexual harassment. If you are accosting someone about their genitalia in any way, if this were a real situation, which I am pretty sure that it's not, that would be sexual harassment. Yeah, was this actually taking place in the women's room or did she just walk into the men's room? That's another question. Oh yeah, show me your genitals. Your genitals, what? Show me your genitals. Damn, that's a throwback. I remember some kids showing me that on the bus when I was like 13. So old. There's only one acceptable answer to what's in your pants, and that's your mom. All right, let's finish seeing what she has to say.
It's rather disturbing. So I would like for you women to stand up and have a voice and stop the shenanigans. You have authority. Use your authority.
Okay, whatever. Go away. Yeah, that's a great question. Where's the trans person's side of the story? The trans person's side? All we have is a picture of someone who, I guess, looks like a masculine person washing something in the sink in the bathroom. To me, there's no clear indication from the picture which bathroom they're in or like what the context is of. She didn't take a picture of the little girl in the corner, and you could have blurred out her face and at least had proof that there was some kind of problem. But this just screams fake news to me. I guess I don't like being the kind of person who has genuinely started just brushing off certain accounts of stuff. It's like, yeah, I listened to your account and I've looked at the evidence that you have, and it's not good. It's not good enough. So obviously, regardless of which bathroom it was or what the situation was, like if her story is, I was in the women's bathroom and I took a photo of someone in that bathroom, whatever the reason was, that's not okay, first of all. But because it was for gender related reasons, according to her own statement, that's against Planet Fitness's policies. And the chief's corporate affairs officer told Fox News, quote, "As the home of the judgment-free zone, Planet Fitness is committed to creating an inclusive environment. Our gender identity non-discrimination policy states that members and guests may use the gym facilities that best align with their sincere, self-reported gender identity. There's an assumption, like you have to be sincere about it. If you are being insincere and then you act with like impropriety, obviously they would take action against that person. But this person in the photo is literally just shaving their face. So there's no impropriety there. The member who posted on social media violated our mobile device policy that prohibits taking pictures of individuals in the locker room, which resulted in their membership being terminated." So yeah, like ultimately, it doesn't matter what reason you took the picture of this person, you broke the rules. You broke a big rule. You didn't need to take that photo. You could have just gone straight to the desk and been like, I'm uncomfortable with a person in the bathroom. And then they would have figured it out from there, right? And maybe you wouldn't have been restricted and canceled from the gym. Maybe you wouldn't have. Realistically, you probably still would have because of the no judgment policy. They would have been like, because I think that's happened before where someone has just gone to the front desk and complained about a trans person in the bathroom at a Planet Fitness. Or was it a Planet Fitness? We watched that one testimony from that teenager that she was like 17 or 18 who did the crocodile tears thing about like, oh, imagine if my 5-year-old daughter were in there. And it ended up being a trans woman who literally had a vagina. Like she'd had bottom surgery and she had been accused of being a man with a penis in the locker room. Like, all right, bro. So this has happened in other instances where there wasn't a photo taken. I'm not sure Planet Fitness, but it was at a gym. In gyms that have pro-trans policies, yeah, if you make a stink, if you harass someone, like, and if you're interrupting my day in any way because you have a problem with me being trans, that's harassment. I don't care that you're uncomfortable with me being around. You being uncomfortable is not a reason for me to not be in a public space. Just like white people not wanting to share certain spaces with black folks is not a reasonable justification for perpetuating segregation. You know, you don't have a justification for segregating out trans people unless you have a significant amount of data. This is the other thing people don't seem to understand about restricting access to trans people in any space, whether that's sports or bathrooms. In order to justify discriminating against an entire group of people, you would have to have overwhelming evidence that that group of people is causing a problem. You would not be able to use a spare, occasional, infrequent example here and there of occasional abuses to justify completely barring these people from access to public spaces. Like, that amount of discrimination is so severe that it's almost unjustifiable, and it would require a ton of data to back you up in order to justify. Yeah, your comfort does not trump my rights. Like, I don't understand why it's always white women who do this. They're like, my comfort around you is what matters more than your literal right. Like, my right to feel safe is more important than your. It's so frustrating how often people offload the responsibility for their emotions onto you. Like, in this situation, cis women are uncomfortable with trans people, and therefore they want to exert control over our behavior and our access in order to manage their feelings of discomfort. Whereas, like, a healthy person might say, well, I'm feeling uncomfortable, and there's no specific reason for me to be feeling uncomfortable, and none of the data supports my feeling uncomfortable. So maybe I should deal with this feeling in myself and stop projecting onto other people. But I think so many folks, and I honestly think that this is a lot of this boundaries conversation that we have nowadays on social media, I think also revolves around this problem of expecting other people to manage your feelings for you. And I think that for a lot of people, it's of course way easier. If you're like, I don't like it when you go out and see your friends, that makes me feel insecure and jealous. You need to stop seeing your friends. It's like, no, you need to deal with your feelings of insecurity and jealousy and stop trying to control what your partner is doing. I could list so many situations where people do this. Earnestly, I think it's super duper common. I think it's way more common for people to like expect you to change something in order to make them feel better, to the extent that they'll say you don't deserve access to public spaces. And I keep having to explain to people that if trans folks can't use public bathrooms, like without feeling comfortable and safe, you know, in this bathroom, you might get beat up for these reasons. In this bathroom, you might get yelled at for these reasons. If you restrict trans people's access to those public spaces, you restrict people's access to any public space. Because if I can't leave my house for like a period of time that's long enough that I might need to use the bathroom during that time, then you are heavily restricting people's ability to just exist in public. Particularly think in schools. If the schools have a policy that says you can't use the bathroom that aligns with your gender identity, and also you know that using the bathroom that you're supposed to, quote unquote, would result in you getting beat up, then how can you functionally be at school all day? You can't hold your piss for 9 hours. That's not reasonable. Yeah, I guess I'll just piss on the floor, right? Oh yeah, so that brings us to hashtag boycott Planet Fitness. It's pretty funny, the reaction that people are having on Twitter to this. I'm not going to say that it's an unproblematic reaction, okay? I'm definitely not going to say that it's an unproblematic situation. But a lot of Republicans now, a lot of these MAGA Republicans and these TERFs are going, oh, we need to boycott Planet Fitness. Oh no, like they're doing this terrible thing. And a lot of people on Twitter are posting pictures like this one and saying things like, I don't think Planet Fitness was too worried about losing your business. And that's just a common response that we're seeing now. And on some level, I don't think they're wrong, because genuinely, a lot of these people have probably already been through, again, like they have dementia. They've already been through this process of recognizing that Planet Fitness is pro-trans and then getting all pissed off about it and then forgetting about it. Like, on top of the fact that most people don't go to the gym anyway, on top of that, are you going to Planet Fitness? But like, genuinely, I don't know that anyone was really worried about losing your business, because y'all, like the MAGA types, I feel are not very health oriented. You know, if there were any demographic in the United States that I would say is reliably, I would predict that they are not going to the gym, they are eating fast food and avoiding salads because they're too gay or whatever, I would say it's right-wing Republicans, not very healthy people, TBH. I might actually go to the gym more if they are actually defending trans folk. Yeah, listen, they did not say anything. The Planet Fitness response to this situation did not say anything about this person's appearance. Like, they did not justify anything. Now, listen, I guess if I were to pretend like this was a real situation that happened, I would say use the bathroom or locker room that is gonna cause the least amount of issues. Like, and that's just my personal opinion. I'm a non-binary person, so I don't have that thing that's like, I really seriously need to use this particular bathroom in order to align with my gender. But I would say even if you are super binary identified, you know, use the bathroom that you're gonna have the least amount of trouble with. And sometimes that's gonna mean not using the bathroom that you want to use, right? But in this instance, yeah, Planet Fitness didn't say anything about, we could understand her feelings maybe because of this appearance of this person, but mostly they were just like, nah, bro, you need to deal with your feelings and not harass people in the bathroom. It's like if MAGA were to boycott a vegan restaurant. Thank you, Badger Girl. That is a perfect analogy. Like, I don't think that you were in the target demo to begin with. Andra says, if I had a nickel for every time I heard an old conservative guy say, I don't eat rabbit food when asking if they wanted salad as a server, I'd be rich by now. Fair enough. I mean, it's a stereotype. It for sure is a stereotype that right-wingers only eat red meat and they go on the Jordan Peterson diet or whatever, but it's also, like, stereotypes are sometimes based in fact. I'm genuinely just really surprised that a woman who would be mad at trans people being in the bathroom would still have a membership at Planet Fitness anyway. I feel like if I were a transphobe who had an issue with trans people being in the bathroom, I would, like, maybe research before I decided which gym I was gonna go to. But then again, if you did too much of that research, you would quickly find that probably not very many gyms are gonna want you in there. I think she bought a membership just so she could do things like this. She ain't getting on that treadmill. You see a lot of older women in the gym lifting like 5-pound weights. That's kind of what older women do in the gym. I don't know if there's anything else really to say about this. It's just real dumb. Yeah, researching might mean having to face the fact that her issues with trans people are idiotic. I mean, I just mean the minimum amount of research to go. I would just Google like the name of the gym and then the trans or transgender. And then you would see a ton of articles about how Planet Fitness has historically been on the side of supporting trans people's right to be in the bathroom that they're most comfortable in. But what I'm saying is, like, that research, you would not be able to start problems like this, first of all. So that's kind of a downside. And second of all, you would probably find if you were to really, this gym doesn't have it listed online whether they support trans people, so I'm going to call them. They probably would be like, we don't want you transphobes in our gym. Please go away. You have to find a very particular, small, privately owned gym. Yeah, so Winter's Night says, it's funny you think that they are tech savvy enough to do that. It would just be Googling, right? And so I'm like, man, that's not beyond you, right? But in actuality, it's the fact of doing the research and double checking that is the thing that I should not expect them to be capable of doing. Because these are the people already who believe whatever they're fed by Fox News and whatever J.K. Rowling says on Twitter. If people can't be nice about bathrooms, then I am going to take them away. Here is your bucket. Figure it out. Yeah, again, why is it always that we need to stop going to the bathroom? Again, it just comes back to that you expecting other people to deal with your feelings for you, but, putting the onus on us to use a different bathroom when it's like, if you're uncomfortable, then you need a different bathroom. Why don't you go use the individual bathroom with the lock on the door for people with wheelchairs? Like, why don't you go use that bathroom if you're so uncomfortable? Or frankly, yeah, just cop a squat in the bushes. Because that's kind of ultimately what the expectation almost becomes for trans people. And by the way, this is one of the many ways that you can criminalize trans people and like accuse us of being sex criminals, is you limit our ability to use public restrooms. And then when one of us does eventually break and take a piss on the side of the road or behind the bar or whatever, that's a sex crime. Like, exposing yourself in public and pissing on something is a sex crime. And you could be, like, arrested for that and then charged as a sex criminal. And then there you go. There's yet another way in which trans people are allegedly committing a bunch of sex crimes. Much love to my patrons, especially Tiago Nascimento, Mersh Rolvog, Michelle Frateroli, Amanda B., Wellington Marcus, Michelle Winter, Danielle McDonald, DZXN, Suzanne Maynard, Spooky Heather Sylvia, Jamie Jam, Pasnell Infinity, Nova, Sojo, Elizabeth Bartell, Ella V. Nobody, Kevin Young, Sarah A., Athiet, Celeste, Desi Quiche, Liam Hodgson, and Mr. Atheist.